So we got Big John in the kitchen today. Tell us what we are going to be doing. I see perch, and that means that's a go for me because I love perch.
We're having perch, but a different twist on perch. What we're having today is coconut crusted perch, and we have a little topping that's going on. That's something a little bit special. What we're doing is we're going to take perch, we're going to dust them first, but not in flour. Then we're going to egg wash them, and we're going to put them in a mixture of Panko breadcrumbs and coconut. Something a little bit different. It's got a little sweeter taste to it. I think you're going to enjoy it. All right, here we go. First thing what we'll do, we'll take our perch, and we've filleted the perch.
Now those are kind of small. Did BT and Bob catch those?
These are all BT and Bob's.
Yeah, they're a little kind of on the small side.
We wanted to use ours, but Bob says no. I got to use these. So
I could tell.
You know, Bob's the boss, so that's what you got to do. I'm not going to cook a whole bunch up today. I think you'll get the message. Now, what we have here is original shore lunch instead of just flour that's seasoned with salt and pepper. I like this because it's got a little bit different flavor to it, and it's got some nice spices to it.
And I like how you left a little air in the bag there to make that a better shaker. That's a pro tip right there.
It is.
It's the simple things, John. Simple things.
Important to take these out. Just kind of dip them here. We'll take them very quickly in the egg wash. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take equal parts of coconut, approximately 3/4 to a cup for the small batch. We're going to put it right in here, and I'm using Panko breadcrumbs. Panko a little bit different than regular breadcrumbs because they won't absorb the oil as much, and it makes for a much crispier bake and a much crispier fry. We'll mix these up really well, and this can change the ratios of coconut and Panko based upon how sweet you like it. The sweeter you like it, obviously, the more coconut you're going to add to it. So basically what we'll do, and we better put this on, huh? Because without this...
We're going to do a little preheat here?
We are. And what we have here is just a regular canola oil. And you can use any kind of oil that's fairly high flash point. You could use avocado oil, or you could use canola, or you could use peanut oil. Any of those would be fine. And I put a little butter in there also.
So if you use, because like we like avocado, it's a little easier on the joints and stuff. If
Absolutely.
You use that, is there anything different that you have to do from?
No, not at all. Just remember that avocado has a little bit different flash point. You can actually get the temperature much higher with avocado than you can with the other oils.
Good to know. So there's a little healthier option.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Just a quick egg wash here.
And are you doing anything? I mean, is that literally just eggs and a touch bit of water? Or?
Instead of water, I use
Milk or?
Yes. I'll use milk. And it doesn't have to be cream or anything like this. And this is what the fillet is going to look like when it goes in there. We'll wait till this gets a little bit hotter. We'll get this off to the side, and we'll prepare a few more here. What we'll do here is anytime I'm frying like this, or I'm making a sauce like we're going to make today, the brown butter sauce, is I use a European butter. European butters have less milk products in them and less moisture in them, so you don't get all that splattering and stuff like you would with regular butter.
That's a pro tip right there.
There you go. Okay, at this point here, you want to make sure that your oil is hot enough so that the fillet doesn't sit in cool oil and absorb too much.
Because if it does, it's going to get kind of gooey, right?
Exactly correct. Yep. The other thing you don't want to do is you don't want to flood the pan with too many
So cool the temperature.
Because that'll drop the temperature. I think we can probably get another guy in here without a problem.
Don't overload that now.
This is it. We're maxing out. You could probably put another one in there, but for what we're doing today, this will be perfect. These will be about maybe 2.5, 3 minutes on each side.
So John, you said 2 or 3 minutes, something like that. Is there any
Per side,
visual
right.
indicators that we can?
Yeah, what you can do is you can take a fork and just lift it up slightly to see if there's any kind of browning, but you'll start to see the edges start to turn a little bit. No, these aren't quite there. The other thing you have to do when you're cooking with coconut like this is you have to be careful not to put it too high because it'll burn pretty quick with the coconut. After we're done with these fillets, I'm going to take these 4 fillets and we're going to put it in the oven. We're going to kind of crisp it up a little bit more, and then I'm going to make a raisin butter sauce for this. Golden raisins.
We might have to put our pinky finger out when we're eating this now. So we're seeing those edges get kind of crisp. That's our sign, right?
See them right here? And this is about what we want it to look like. Right like that. You'll start to see the coconut kind of brown up. Now these fillets are really pretty thin, so it doesn't take much. Obviously a thicker fillet, you're going to want to keep it on there just a little bit longer.
So, you know, with the fish, you don't want to undercook it because then there's problematic with that. But if you overcook it, you know, it's really doesn't taste nearly as good, does it?
Not as good. Not as good. So we're going to cook it light here, and then I'm going to put it on a cookie sheet that's got parchment paper lined. And it doesn't have to have parchment paper, but it's so easy to clean up. You just in the garbage when it's done. And what we're going to do then is we're going to take this, put it in there, get it a little crispier, and then I'm going to make the golden raisin sauce. And that'll go on the top.
So we're putting this on the parchment paper, right? And that's mainly just for cleanup.
Cleanup, and it'll crisp up these fillets a little bit.
So we're taking these out, and you said we're going to put them in the oven. It looks like you've got this preheated to 375?
Correct. Oven is preheated to 375. It'll only be in there for about 5 minutes or so. And while this is in there crisping up, I'm going to remove this, put this off to the side. If I'd have more fillets, obviously I'd be doing more. And what we're going to do here is we are going to cook our butter and our golden raisins.
European butter.
Correct.
And what is the difference with golden raisins for regular raisins? Is there?
Well, golden raisins are softer. What we're doing is we're getting this butter. We're going to cook it, heat it up. We're going to break down the solids here. And you're going to see the butter is going to get kind of brownish and get a nutty flavor to it. And that'll be the toppings for our...
So what are we looking for here to get these raisins?
You're going to start, well, you'll see the raisins plump up because they absorb the butter. You'll also see the butter start to burn off. You'll hear it making noise now, and it's starting to burn off the solids and any of the liquids in here, and then pretty soon it's going to kind of turn a kind of a light brownish color, and you got to really watch this. The reason this white pan is so good is you can see the bottom real easily, and you can tell when this is going to be ready. And we're starting to see the raisins kind of plump up. What will happen here shortly is the butter will start to foam, and then it'll start to kind of get a little brownish, and that's when you're going to get this nutty flavor. See how the color now is changing pretty dramatically? This is the same stuff without the raisins that Julia Child brought from France to the United States, and she made her famous Dover sole.
Oh my, a student in the game you are.
See how the color's starting to change a little bit?
So we crisped those up in the oven for a few minutes.
Yep. You see how brown that's gotten now?
Definitely, they've definitely plumped up. They almost don't even look like raisins anymore.
Exactly. Now I'm just taking a little bit, putting it right on top here of these. And if, as an example, somebody doesn't like raisins,
John, are you directing that at somebody?
we can just drizzle just a little bit of that nutty butter on there. What we'll do at this point, we can take these out and you can plate these right up for Mr. Ross and a fork. Let me get another plate. And a few more forks for the crew.
Oh, I love it.
Bob?
It's pretty hot, boys.
Yes, it will be warm. And this will be for the dude. The
Am I
dude.
allowed to eat, Ross?
You're allowed to eat one more time. And then union breaks are done.
And that's it. I think you'll find it pretty good. Ross?
I'm going to do the honors. This is good.
I like the sweetness of the coconut too.
Yeah, if you like it, my grandkids, they really enjoy this stuff. And they're older, they're college age. And they like a little bit more coconut in because they like it a little bit sweeter. If you don't like it as sweet, you don't put as much coconut in. That's all.
John, I'm so sweet. I really don't need much for
It goes without saying.
perch. Just another way of cooking perch. Who doesn't
Coconut
like perch?
crusted walleye with a brown
Or
raisin sauce. And walleyes, yeah, walleyes and perch. We make them both. Another thing that you can do with these is if you have some thicker pieces, like walleye or thicker perch, cut them up and chunk them, put them in there, and then you can use them as dippers. And you have your dipping sauces out there, and oh, outstanding. I can't keep them on the table when the kids are around, so.
Amazing.